fall of 1996, the statement was made that Faith could build a house in Tunica, Mississippi, for Rosie and her 8 boys, and the Iowa Conference was challenged to do that. The Iowa Conference responds well to need, and on September 24, 1997, less than a year later, Rosie's house was dedicated. The next day, her family moved from this to this. This mission project went so smoothly that organizers felt the Holy Spirit was surely with us from the start to finish. The first step of faith was to start the house on June 15th, when only 1/4 of the needed money had been raised. This first crew was made up of Iowa Conference, Southeast Conference Partnership Task Force people, 15 in all. The accommodations for crews weren't very fancy. The first 2 weeks we stayed in a Habitat dorm 25 miles away. The first week's crew was frustrated by rain and more rain. Water stood everywhere and cement couldn't be poured. The Iowa Conference Southeast Conference Partnership Task Force people wanted to be the ones to start raising the walls, but it was not to be. So they busied themselves refinishing woodwork, building picnic tables, which were used by the crews for the rest of the summer, and later by Rosie's family. They also stained and varnished the many pieces of 4 sets of bunk beds for Rosie's boys. A highlight of the week was the presentation of 10 quilts. The women of the Hartley Church had made these for Rosie's family. The house really took shape the second week, and the crew was most unique. It was an ecumenical crew of 15 from Ottumwa with 1 UCC man from Maquoketa. The Catholic, Methodist, Disciples of Christ, United Church of Christ, Open Bible, and Assembly of God churches were all represented. The heat and humidity were terrible by this 3rd week of June. It took great quantities of Gatorade to keep the crew going. Men could only shingle for 10 minutes and then had to cool down in the shade while others took their place. The 3rd crew of 8 came from Muscatine right after the 4th of July. They insulated, hung sheetrock, and installed doors and windows. The 4th crew went the 3rd week of July. This was a crew of 8 from Donaldson, Ottumwa, and Crossville, Tennessee. This crew built wooden lockers for the boys' bedroom and finished putting up sheetrock and began mudding the joints. It was hot, dirty work, and they were fortunate to be able to stay in the local newspaper editor's air-conditioned house while that family was on vacation. The 5th crew numbered 10 and came from Algona, Baxter, Audubon, Maquoketa, and Ottumwa. 2 on this crew were Presbyterians. They muddied and sanded sheetrock to get the joints smooth. It was a dusty, painstaking job. Progress wasn't easily visible, but the crew took the job seriously and sweated. Rosie and two of her boys worked alongside the crew daily. The two women from Makokata specialized in painting. They added the fine touches of rag rolling and stenciling to make the house unique. The sixth crew came from Marengo, Baxter, and Ottumwa in early August. They laid all the floor tile, prepared the exterior for bricking, installed kitchen cabinets, and laid baseboard. Rosie's 10 and 12-year-old grandsons enjoyed working with the men. It made the boys feel important. All of the crews were wonderful with the boys, teaching and praising them. The last crew from Donaldson, Des Moines, and Ottumwa went September 15th and spent 10 days before the dedication doing all the final tasks. Soffit was put up, lighting fixtures were installed. The bathroom and kitchen were finished. The floors and windows were cleaned. Susan and Tom Ingram came the night before the dedication and earned their builder's caps, painting and putting up fixtures up to the last minute. The dedication was a grand affair with 50 people attending.
We did this in conjunction with the Southeast Conference of our denomination. We're the Iowa Conference. Southeast Conference covers the state of Mississippi. And Susan Ingham, Reverend Susan Ingham, is here from Des Moines, Iowa to represent our conference. And we were delighted to come down and do this. And those of us who've come to build, we've had 59 some altogether to build, some from Tennessee and most of Iowa. And we've had a wonderful time. We've got this part of the Southeast Conference. But one of the committee members who could not be here did want to share a letter for Rosie, and then I'll give it to her later today. To Rosie, her boys, and the Iowa Conference Southeast Partnership Committee, dear friends, I'm so excited that the project has come to completion in such fine order and short time. I also regret that I'm unable to be with you for this joyous occasion, so I wanted to take the time to just drop you a note to offer you many, many thanks for your hard work and for your willingness to accept ministry wherever you see it. Rosie, enjoy your new home and keep your friends from Iowa. We hope that we will be in touch with you for many, many years to come. Again, congratulations to all. Grace and peace, Linda Carter. She's one of my associate conference ministers.
The Iowa Conference can be very proud of this mission project. The churches heard a need. About 110 responded. $18,000 was raised and a fine house was built. house actually cost the Iowa Conference about $20,000. The local habitat gave $3,000 towards the costs, in addition to providing the lot. Our local site manager says the house would sell for $50,000 on the open market. Two weeks after moving in, Rosie wrote this letter expressing her feelings. I cannot put into words how happy I am. I can't thank you all enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The boys get up every day and make their beds before going to school. They love their own beds. When they leave, I clean up and wash. I go to Jamie's school sometimes. I got your letter. You say you are resting up. I know you need to, because you all worked hard. I talk to the Lord every day to say, thank you, I love my house. Well done, thou good and faithful servants.